What's going on, everyone? Welcome to episode 70 of Littleroot Lessons. As always, I'm your host, Carter Noble, joined by our fantastic co-host, Carl Wilkin. What's up, dude?
70 episodes. One, that's a lot.
Like when you compare it to some of these shows that have been on forever, like, I listen to the Rooster Teeth podcast. They're coming up on, 700.
Oh, yeah. But it's just like... We did the Magic podcast before this, and we've come a long way since then.
Yeah, for sure. My brother was asking about it yesterday. He's like, so how long have you been doing this? I'm like, altogether, it's close to 3 years at this point, which does not, it does not seem like it has been 3 years.
Yeah, we're at 70, so that's a one and a third.
Yeah, for just this. And we went to 58?
Something like that. It was just...
I would have to go look that one up, but...
I deleted all the old ones. They're gone.
The Twitter's still there.
Yeah.
I have not signed into it for...
a hot minute.
At least a year and a half.
So
because I don't think you ever had access to that Twitter.
Nope.
That one was just me.
Yep. Now roles are reversed. No, I have...
I do
stuff
everything
on the Littleroot side, and you just show up.
Well, on top of that, the Magic one, the Magic subreddits were really strict about not self-advertising at all. So, there was, no way for us to
grow
get off the ground.
You just had to, top place and then do something silly.
And even then, it's just, when, I had my insane run with, hardened skills, it's alright, well, I top cut 3 tournaments in a row, wrote a report on it, nothing. Did not see anything about it.
When I came up with Bridge Fighting, you played on YouTube, that's one of the, the highest grossing YouTube videos you had.
Yeah, it has, at this point, it's 2,500 views or whatever.
Nothing came out of that
nope.
either.
That was still when I was living with my parents. It's my setup looked awful. The back of my setup just looked terrible because I was really bad at cropping stuff out too. So my webcam, the way my desk was set up is I never fully unpacked from my parents when I moved back in because I didn't plan on being there for long.
Very long.
And not very long turned into a year and a half or whatever. And so I just had 3 totes of stuff here. And then my dresser. And you could see all of it.
Yeah, I remember that.
You could see all the way down to the wall and everything. Just yeah, that's good enough.
Yeah, it's fine. So what are we talking about today?
I don't know, man.
We got a bunch of data from our week of events there where we had to reschedule at LRQ. We had 2 Rumbles real close together there. So that's kind of cool. We'll go over that probably in a minute. But Series 10 rules got dropped last week.
Kinda out of nowhere.
It's here's the end of June season, start of July season. Oh, here's Series 10 rules to go on top of that. And
because, I messaged you. I'm like, hey, I'm going to record ladderings tonight. What time does the ladder come back on?
11 p.m. our time.
Yeah, I learned that the hard way.
I bet.
I thought it went down at one point and came up an hour later. So when I started recording at 8, I'm like, all right, cool. It'll be end of the season. I'll get these last few games in. No big deal. And the season has ended. What? but I have stuff to do.
Nope, not today. You ain't.
Okay.
Instead, you recorded this morning and got it uploaded in a hurry, which is fine.
Yeah, I got 2 of those done. Got the showdown done.
We're not gonna talk about the showdown.
Nah.
It ain't worth it.
Nah. Let's see. And then, I woke up and had I literally could not count how many new messages were on Discord.
Yeah.
Because I know you were up late.
Yeah, I was up way too late for what I probably should have been.
And as a result, you were theory crafting. And of course, everyone on Discord today has been theory crafting. And so I don't think anyone had this as an option for what they expected Series 10 to be.
No, and that's kind of what the cool part is. Like, it just came out of nowhere because people had inklings of like, oh, we're gonna play GS Cup, and then there was like, oh, there's the no Dynamax.
Yeah, there was like a little bit of no Dynamax format that came out of like
the Flareon
feel out of left field, basically, and then suddenly, Pokemon Company's like, what if we kind of combined those two?
What if we gave you a legendary and no Dynamax all at the same time?
So it's a restricted format in the fact that you can play with all the box legendaries and everything, similar to Series 8.
Mm-hmm.
But it's literally Series 8 minus Dynamaxing.
Which is cool, I think.
Which is really cool.
It's a new dynamic, I'd say. It's just like, things that were really good with Dynamax aren't going to be good anymore. Things like Lapdog. Really liked having Gigantamax Lapras.
Well, I kind of talked to you about this before we started. It's like, the things that were, like, the restricted that were good in that format because of Dynamax have really fallen out of favor. And I mean, there will be some niche for them, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But overall, it just feels dynamically different in every way of every format I've played in the last year and a half.
Yeah.
Because, there's a lot of positioning of, okay, and now this Mon gets to come in, it's at decent HP, I can Dynamax, get some boost on my defenses or whatever, and take over the game that way.
Mm-hmm.
That's no longer an option. Like, you don't get the option to boost your defenses, or boost your speed, or lower your opponent's attacks, or anything like that, because there's no Dynamax. There's no Whirlwinds. There's no Airstreams. There's no Steel Spikes. Like, the 3 most popular moves that have been clicked in the last year and a half are gone.
Yep. It's a whole new format, pretty much.
It is drastically different in a good way, if you want my honest opinion.
My viewpoint on it is it'll be good until it's solved. Because that's kind of tends to be the trend for restricted formats in general, is once they get solved, once you figure out, oh, this restricted and this restricted and this restricted are the top 3 or top 4 or whatever, your format kind of gets stale.
So I think along that same point, I think there's already like the blueprint of what restricteds are going to be good. Obviously, Zacian's still insanely good, mm-hmm. But as a result, Ensign and Lando are also very good. Intimidate is going to be very good. Burn is going to be pretty widely played, I'm sure. Like things like Will-O-Wisp and like Rotom Wash, where it can take a hit from Zacian and then get the burn off in exchange.
Rotom Heat in that same vein.
Exact same vein, where they basically resist every hit that Zacian can throw at them. Because you resist Steel, you resist Fairy for the Fire type. Water does not.
Water doesn't.
Yeah, Rotom Wash does not. Rotom Wash takes like Wild Charge neutrally, but Heat resists. Like those are really like your damaging attacks when it comes to Zacian.
Sacred Sword close combat.
Yeah, I mean,
the other one.
I've seen Sacred Sword. I actually ran into it earlier. I was playing a match with Cali Shadow, and they clicked Sacred Sword in my Eliki. I'm like, okay, all right, whatever,
cool, whatever.
You gave me a free Switch.
Thanks, appreciate it.
And so, in that same vein, it's like, yes, Zacian's still good, but I think because there's less true checks to it, mm-hmm. in the sense that, like, Behemoth Blade is just, a stab 150 base move or whatever.
It's a stab 100 base power move.
Sure, whatever it is. Yeah, 100, because it would double in Dynamax. You still have to be able to spec to live those hits. Yeah. That's no big deal. Like that's literally whatever.
The damage output doesn't change. It didn't change when you're max or Dynamax because the
correct.
So it's like, it's still going to hit you like a truck and hurt, but if you respect to live Behemoth Blade before, you're going to live it now.
Yep.
Which, fun fact, Agaslash lives, it's a 3-hit KO with Behemoth Blade.
In
shield form.
Okay. I assumed so, but I've seen a lot of Aegislash today because they sit there and click Wide Guard.
Yeah. I heard that too.
oh, okay, I'm gonna calm mine. Eventually, I'm gonna be at high enough HP where I'm gonna be able to one-shot you. And then it's no longer gonna be a problem.
We're gonna just deal with it. Which, that's a cool thing that, like, Agaslash can do. It's like, Wide Guard's gonna be much more popular now because everything's spread moves, Kyogre, Groudon, Landorus.
Cali, both Cali forms. Landorus with Earthquakes, of course. You have Rock Slides. You have Eruption. Like, Torkoal Eruption is still something that is pretty widely seen. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and granted, I've played probably 30 or 40 games today.
Yeah.
And it's just like, the first, 20, I didn't see a single station. Like, man, if this is how this format's gonna be, it's great. I love it.
Yeah, I'm gonna enjoy this. And then the stations started coming out of the woodwork or something.
I'm like, oh, alright, bang. I don't care.
Yeah, so Wide Guard's gonna be played a ton, especially now that Dynamax isn't a thing, so you're not super duper punished for playing Wide Guard, because most Pokemon are gonna want to do the spread move thing, because that's the most damage output for your buck.
I ran into Swampert on the lead. I was like, I know what you're doing. I'm reading this. I've done this. I know this. Eat this energy ball. Sit down.
Get your Wide Guard out of here.
They did not live.
I'm not
surprised. If you can believe that.
I am not surprised. So yeah, Series 10 seems like it's gonna be like a fun format. We will probably be migrating our Rumbles throughout the month of July instead of going to GS Cup, going to this Series 10 Cup.
Which is something that we had talked about with the mod team and everything else. Is like moving a non-zero amount of tournaments to
something else.
Basically anything else, just because Series 9 is slowly coming to a wrap. We only have a few more weeks with it, and people are kind of worn tired of it because it has been 3 months of it.
Yeah, they want something new because Pokemon companies spoiled us and they rotate series every 2 or 3 months. But we'll probably move our Rumbles over to this new format as we kind of get used to it and test it out. Which means we'll probably be playing on Battle Tower rules instead of Series 9 rules.
Probably Series 8 rules.
If 8's still on there, we can do that.
They should
just
be.
Respect no Dynamax.
Yeah, that's how the Flareon Cup did it. I'm assuming. I don't think there's an actual format that does not allow Dynamaxing on.
I don't know
card.
Yet. So, unless Series 10 rules got put out for us to use.
I don't.
I know. I think Yan has an event started.
I think his is Series 8 though.
So if it's Series 8, we'll probably just do Series 8 and just respect no Dynamax.
Be cool about it, guys.
We're here. If your opponent Dynamax is in front of you, just let us know. We'll handle it.
Yeah, for sure. But like you said, that's going to just be the Rumbles for the foreseeable future, just for this next month. Because obviously it's already July, so we have 4 weeks with this format left.
Yeah, 4 weeks, 4 events. 2 will be Series 9, 2 will be Series 10. LRQs are going to be July 10th, and then July 24th this month, right?
I actually don't know. I don't have my phone on me.
Well, you know what you can check?
If you say Discord. Oh yeah, we have a website. We have the website.
Schedule of events. Look at that. So Saturday, July 10th will be our 5th LRQ, and then Saturday, July 24th is the 6th one. Sign-ups for those will open up the Monday before they go up. So the 10th, one on the 10th will be open on the 5th, and the one on the 24th will be open on the 19th. That's what it is. Monday before.
Yeah.
Something like that.
I might actually sit down and write an article this week. If I get time, I might write an article.
Well, there you go. Look for an article maybe on the website coming up. Rumbles are going to be July 14th and July 28th.
Yep.
They will both be Series 10. Sign-ups for those, again, will be open the Monday.
Monday before, yeah.
For the LRQs, there's a $5 entry fee, blah, 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 blah. We'll do our giveaway stuff like we normally do. We talked about age restrictions, just to make sure we don't get in any legal trouble with Battlefy and Discord and all that. So we'll probably start doing that throughout July as we go and get used to doing more of these. So look out for that on the sign-up forms when that comes up.
And I'm going to throw this out there now. In the event that there is a discretion between ages that are put down, we will disqualify you. Like, please be honest about this. If you are
an event.
An underage player, please be direct with us.
Yeah.
Because we don't want to get in trouble for allowing it, and we want you to have the opportunity to play in these events in the future. And any problems that arise now are going to be held over for the foreseeable future.
Yeah. But yeah. So the Rumble actually would be like, this last Rumble's going to be 3 days before Series 10 goes into effect.
Which I'm sure will have actual Series 10 rules by then.
Yeah,
I cannot imagine we wouldn't.
Unfortunately, we don't get the first Series 10 event like we did for
Series 7 and 9 and 8?
And technically 8, yeah. We had declared it a thing before it was a thing for our Draft League format.
Which, is actually really great, like, the fact that we're doing the format we're doing for Draft League. Because it's like, alright, you can only play with this pool of mons, but Dynamax is fine.
Yeah.
Whereas Series 10 is, everything is legal, but you can't Dynamax.
It's a nice change of pace, because I feel like the last time with Draft League, it kind of got stale because everyone was playing Series 8 while Drew in the Draft League as well. Because there was Players' Cup 3 in there somewhere.
Yeah, there was Players' Cup 3, there was, of course, Draft League, there was the actual, like, series going on, so, like, there's a lot of prep that you could actually do for it, and, like, it made it easy to be able to put together a team for Draft League and everything, and actually play against other teams to make sure that there was a cohesive team.
You got to test really well, yeah.
Whereas, like, for this, it's going to be a little harder because, like, you don't want to go run your, fair and square Draft League team against the Series 10 ladder.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
I would not recommend that.
So let's see here. I'm just going to look over this to make sure there's nothing weird I'm missing.
Sure. What do we got?
This is the rules. Doubles. Available Pokemon. Team of 4 to 6. 1 per team. Yep. No Dynamax. 20 minutes, 7 minutes.
Yep. Literally the same rules.
Okay, cool. Nothing else changed. It's just National Pokedex. As long as they have the Galar battle ready mark. 1 restricted allowed. No Dynamax. Same battle time. Same your time. All that stuff.
So, getting into this a little farther. First thoughts of the format. What do you like in this format already?
Do they have to be restricted Pokemon?
It can be literally whatever.
Aleki, Urshifu, Rillaboom.
Yeah, those seem pretty straightforward.
Like, these are the 3 that you need to either must play or must answer every time. Yep. And without Max Air in the format, answering Rillaboom got a lot harder.
Oh, you say that, but Calyrex just goes bang, and then it goes away. So
usually, usually it gets to go away.
I think this is a really interesting thought experiment on Pokemon Company's part, because this is really going to be able to show you how dominant Urshifu can be in a non-Dynamax format. The fact that its ability single-handedly negates one of the best moves in doubles.
Yeah, one of the defining moves.
Oh, easily the most defining move. The fact that it's just completely invalidated and it just goes, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yeah.
No damage reduction, no nothing. And that's probably something they'll do, is look at it and say, okay, this is an easy fix. It does half damage instead.
Yeah.
Super easy fix, We've seen the difference between Gen 6 and Gen 7 and Gen 7 and Gen 8.
Yeah, we've seen them tweak Pokemon in between generations for sure.
So the big one that comes to mind is the difference between Gen 6 and Gen 7 parental bond for Mega Kenga. Okay, it did 50% and now it's doing 20? 25%, I think?
Something like that. I didn't play, so I didn't know.
Another one that comes to mind is between Gen 7 and Gen 8, the number of abilities that now ignore Intimidate. Which this is, I think, is a huge change, and something that I don't think gets enough talk of the fact that Intimidate for the very long time was one of the best abilities, and even still is. But the fact that now there's more checks to it with Oblivious and Inner Focus, and those are the two that come to mind.
Inner Focus, Scrappy.
Forgot about Scrappy. Obviously, Hyper Cutter has always been in the game.
Hyper Cutter's been always there.
But
Um,
Clear Body, isn't there another like Clear Body clone?
it's the Full Metal Body.
Yeah,
from Solgaleo.
yeah, whatever, good enough.
Um,
I think that's it.
White Smoke.
Oh yeah, which is again literally Clear Body, whatever.
Yeah.
The fact that like it has gotten these changes in between generations tells me that they actively look at this data and like player experience as well and say, okay, we need to tone this back some. And I think that honestly might just fix Urshifu from being potentially the most broken thing in this format to, yeah, it's good.
It's okay. Like
you need to respect it, but it's
we're
interesting.
not going to punish you for having it just be a thing.
Yeah. It's interesting to see it in its heyday, basically, because I really do think that this is going to be a format not only dominated, but defined by Urshifu in both forms. I think I've seen a lot more Water Urshifu today.
Oh yeah, Water Urshifu is actually really good.
Because it used to be, really the only ever time you ever saw Water Urshifu was when you were proccing a policy on Colossal, which could take that hit, even though it was a fairly powerful hit, because you were doubling your HP pool. But the fact now that you don't get that double HP pool means that Colossal looks a little worse.
Mm-hmm.
So, my big winners, like you said, Eliki I think is absolutely insane. Rillaboom, and to another extent, Indeedee.
Yeah, the terrain style stuff. Which, fun fact, Indeedee, Rillaboom, and Tapu Fini are all at the same base speed.
Yep.
So there's going to be this fun base speed war of trying to min speed and Iron Ball and get underneath each other.
We joked about that in near the tail end of Series 4, because that's when Rillaboom got access to Grassy Surge. It's like, alright, well now, this week I'm going to be Iron Ball. Next week, I'm going to be Iron Ball min speed. It's just like slowly power creep down. But at the same time, the problem with that is like, sure, you can want to be the slowest thing, but then like you're losing so much speed that it's just not worth it at some point.
Well, the fun thing about Rillaboom was it was worth it for Rillaboom. Rillaboom had priority. Like Fake Out and Grassy Glide, and you can just protect, and then Wood Hammer against the things that you didn't really have to worry about. And that was kind of just like the idea there is like you just get to underspeed, but you have priority, so you're almost always moving ahead. Whereas Indeedee, you get to play that support role, and it's fine.
I mean, Indeedee, even though it has Psychic Terrain, basically only ever clicks priority moves. You have
Helping Hand, Follow Me, and Protect.
And then when you need to, when you get taunted, Expanding Force.
Just that spam damage. So it's like it'd be interesting to see if Tapu Fini, if they start min speeding Tapu Fini, start going for that 0 speed or that minus nature, or like 31 neutral nature. I've been seeing faster and faster Indeedees here lately. Like they've been going max speed, trying to just
I want to be able to live hits.
Well, they're focused on so they don't care. They just I want to click expanding force if I need to, and that's what they end up doing a lot of the time. But it's kind of just interesting. It's like, what's the speed game going to be like coming into this, because all these terrains want to go up at the same time, and you want your terrain to be the one that goes up. It was at 3 a.m. yesterday. I was like, I wonder if I could just do like Iron Ball Fini things, like min speed Iron Ball Fini, just to like underspeed Indeedee. Because like I was thinking in my head, it's like if I do Fini Agaslash and they just lead Indeedee whatever, I can just wide guard and take care of the Indeedee, and then Shadow Sneak Okos. The Calyrex, unless they're Sash. Shadow Sneak can blow them up. Yeah. So they have to be Sash there, or they just die.
And from my experience, Aegislash in shield form takes Astral Barrages. Even without Wide Guard. Like, yeah, sure, I'll take that.
Like, I'll take one, sure.
You only need to take one, because then you can Oko it back. Yep. So, that's actually one of the beauties of Aegislash in this format. And I think that's another, like, immediate winner that you're going to see astronomically more of.
Yeah, it's a Pokemon that hadn't gotten
hasn't seen any love
going into Series 8, into Gen 8, because they reduced the amount they reduced the amount of your attack drop off King Shield from two stages to 1. So you only got one stage. You only get one attack drop instead of the double. So that was already a minus to it. And then Dynamax, you don't change. Your stance change just gets turned off. So, like, what's the point of that? But in this non-Dynamax format, I think Aegislash can actually, like, do something. Especially since it takes station hits and it tanks counter
hits. Yeah, the fact that, like, it can take these restricted hits because it has a base 130 defense or whatever means it actually winds up pretty okay, especially since it takes a hit and then can deal a ton back.
Yeah. It's not going to deal with any Kyogre or Crowd shenanigans, but
you'd actually be surprised. It can, because Precipice Blades is...
It's more, you're not going to be hitting back as hard.
Oh, for sure,
like,
for sure.
You want to be, like, Kyogre resists Steel and Groudon, it hits you super effectively with Precipice Blades, and it outspeeds you too. So that could be a problem, but...
So, we've talked about winners.
Losers?
Who's your biggest loser?
Colossal.
By a mile! And you know how mad this makes me? I love beating up Colossal players because they don't know anything else.
Like, what are you going to do now? This is my format. It's going to be great. It's just like, because it's super slow and bulky and defensive and heavy, and it's going to be great. All these people that have been playing hyper-offensive, Colossal, Gigantamax nonsense, like, what are they going to do now? They have to adapt, and they haven't been playing that way for a while, so they have to figure out what to do, and they have to change their mindset, and it's great.
And, you know, I've talked about this multiple times. A good Colossal player knows that team inside and out, can be able to beat you without Colossal.
Yep.
The beginning and intermediate, like the intermediate section of Colossal players, they're just like, alright, Dynamax, water attack, run you over.
Colossal go purr.
Yeah, and then you're just like, okay, here's my plan. My plan worked because it's lined up to always work.
Yeah.
Can I have my win now?
Yeah.
You've lost your Dynamax. I still have mine. This game is over. Yeah. Please go sit back down.
It's gonna be a wake up call for a lot of players. A lot of the newer players, a lot of the players who liked Dynamax were used to it. So it's definitely gonna be a change of pace there.
Another big loser, Charizard.
Yeah.
Which, take this with a grain of salt. Charizard's still a very good mon.
Oh yeah.
Especially since you are able to pair it next to Groudon or Torkoal if you really wanted to. I ran into Gengar Charizard. It wasn't testing Series 10, but it was for, I think, laddering. I ran into Gengar Charizard. I'm like, Gengar gets Sunny Day, doesn't it? Like, that's what this is going to do. This is going to click Sunny Day. And sure enough, I set up Sand, and then the next turn, Sunny Day. I'm like, interesting. Like, you're gonna die to your solar power, but I'm okay with that.
This is fine. This is fine.
Like, I broke your Gengar Sash. Celesteela can, for some reason, take a Wildfire.
Sure.
Yeah, that was an interesting game.
Sounds like it.
But, like, the thing that made Charizard good, and historically, are its Megas, where it has, specifically Y, where it got access to, I believe, Drought was its ability. And, like, that's a really big deal. Also, you got, like, an attack, like, special attack boost, I believe you become faster. And, like, that was really what made Charizard playable in these other formats. And the fact that Megas aren't in this game means that it was really reliant on its Gigantamax form to be able to do this extra bit of damage with its residual every turn.
Like, Wildfire was insane.
While also increasing your speed with Airstreams. So now, even though you aren't naturally insanely fast, you are fast, but put you over that hump to be able to outspeed these things that do outspeed you, that's not really an option anymore.
Yep, that's done. So,
like, it really, you had to step back and really evaluate how you're going to play Charizard in this format, if that is something you want to do. I'm sure in a month I'm going to be eating these words because Charizard's going to be the most played Pokemon for some reason. Like, it's going to outpace Incineroar and Landorus both by a mile.
gonna just surpass everyone and be 70% usage because for some reason it's just OP.
There's obviously something I'm missing, and that's okay. Another real big loser, and I'm not sure, like, if you can really classify this, but Lapras really is probably gone.
You won't see Lapras in this format, no.
Like, how many times have you seen Lapras in Series 9?
Very little. It was really, really popular in Series 8 because it's specifically paired with Zacian for screens. You're not Dynamaxing your Zacian because you can't. So you want to Gigantamax Lapras, set up screens, do water type attacks, and do Groudon and other fire types that just cause problems for Zacian. Zacian just deals with the fighting types against it because it's just still got the fairy type coverage. So it was just more of how do you deal with Lapras? Well, now Lapras isn't a thing anymore. What you'll see now is probably Zacian and Grimmsnarl.
Yep.
Or Zacian other screen setter. That's really, really good.
And obviously you can dress this in Eliki to be in that role, but I think the days of Eliki screens is probably long gone. That's probably just going to be left behind in Series 7 because the formats have all evolved since that point.
Oh yeah, like everything's changed a lot since then.
Another really big winner, like going back and forth here for a second. Another one that I think just got immensely better. You and I were kind of talking about it earlier. Alola-Whack.
Oh yeah, Alola-Whack's actually just going to be like great because Lightning Rod's really good, and you never really needed a Dynamax your Alola-Whack to actually do things with it.
It was nice.
Oh yeah, it was real nice, but like they gave you Poltergeist.
Like you just punch them.
Like who needs a Dynamax move when they give you a base 120 Ghost move?
And like I'm not sure if this is really going to pan out. Like I think there's a non-zero chance that this is going to be very good, especially since you can get up a Trick Room with, like, P2. Like, in the face of, like, Cali Shadow, P2 just is literally immune. It doesn't care. And it can take 2 to 3 expanding forces. So you can reliably get up a Trick Room in front of Cali Shadow.
Like, it doesn't care.
And then Alola-Whack comes in as your partner and threatens both Indeedee and Cali. So it's like, okay, well, neither of these can stay in to reasonably take these hits. So if they do have an answer to Trick Room in the back, such as, like, Glastrier, let's say.
I'm going to blow that up, too.
Okay, I don't really care. So that's another one I think you're going to see significantly less of. Is, like, Cali Ice and Glastrier both. I think they specifically strived
really liked Dynamax
because they got to double their HP pool. And were able to apply immense pressure by stacking their defenses. The fact that that is no longer a viable option means they're going to naturally have to adapt and evolve to a point where they can actually have a standing, like a foot to stand on in this format. I'm interested in seeing where they end up. I think they're probably the two mons that I'm at this point most curious to explore, but cautiously approaching.
A winning or restricted that comes to mind is Zamazenta, specifically. Zamazenta didn't really get to see a whole lot in Series 8 because it was just kind of, here's this defense boost. Well, the defense boost doesn't mean anything if everyone's just maximizing their attack through Dynamax and whatnot. Well, now you ain't got to worry about that. You don't have to worry about max airstreams for people trying to outspeed you. You ain't got to worry about, like, the biggest thing you have to worry about is getting hit by a ground type attack or a fire type attack, which are going to come from usually Groudon, Landorus, or Incineroar. And you're at +1 defense already.
Yep. And so then you pair that with the ability, I believe it gets Iron Defense, right? I'd be very surprised if that's not the case.
I think it gets Iron Defense. The thing though that makes me excited about Zamazenta is coaching.
You get coaching. You also get Howl.
Yeah.
So like, if you want your Zamazenta to be able to do extra damage, Howl is always an option. That's something I've seen a lot of in like singles.
It's like Howl Zamazenta.
I can't remember exactly what channel it is, but I had a lot of these like salty showdown player channels popping up on my YouTube
feed. Oh yeah,
feed.
that's the new hot thing is
and
salty.
So it's just like, they're just gonna click Howl 6 times.
So,
oh, look at that. It doesn't matter. You're dead. Cool.
We do get Iron Defense. We get
Okay.
Howl. We get Light Screen. We get Moon Blast.
Moon Blast.
Moon Blast. And Play Rough.
Well, I knew we got Play Rough. That would make sense.
Reflect. So you get both screens, Substitute, Wild Charge, all that stuff.
You get Body Press?
No.
That's weird.
You don't.
That's sad.
But you do get Guard Swap, you get Endure, Power Swap, Scary Face, which is kind of cool.
Mm-hmm.
Wide Guard, which is a big one. You get Workup. If you want to do that, you can.
Do we get Baton Pass?
No.
Okay, I assumed so, but it's like, man, this is a lot of setup moves. We get Cosmic Power. I doubt it.
No.
Okay. I assumed since we got
You also get Dazzling.
What?
Don't ask me.
Okay.
I feel like this is incorrect, but whatever. Anywho, the big one is coaching. Like, coaching is the big thing that like Zamazenta gets to do now and not be super like blown out by Dynamax for. Like the big thing that's like Zacy kind of worried about it too, but Zamazenta did not like Max Quake.
Oh, for sure.
And then it's just like Max Flare is also a problem. So it's just kind of like, well, about my +1 doesn't really mean anything because they're just blowing me up with a base 130, 140 max move. Well, now it's spread 100 damage Earthquake, or it's just Flare Blitz and your +1. Things like that. It's not sun. It's not going to be sun boosted Flare Blitz. It's just going to be Flare Blitz.
As a man who was playing with Groudon Blaziken today, sun boosted Flare Blitz hurt.
It does a lot.
It will still chunk everything.
Yeah. But just like Zamazenta, just in my head, just seems like a clear winner of this being a non-Dynamax format.
Another one that I've seen starting like a lot of like hype around is Xerneas. And I mean, it makes sense.
It makes sense. It's just like, there's no max steel spikes to blow you up. Steel types in general are going to be less played because that's what made steel types great was steel spike, boost your defense, boost your allies' defense, boost, because most steel types also get ground coverage, boost special defense, things like that.
My big thing is, historically what has made Xerneas good is the ability to pivot to whatever other partner restricted you had. And I'm not sure if power creep has gotten to a point where the other Pokemon that you're being able to play make up for not having that second restricted slot in Xerneas' favor. Like, obviously, Geomancy is very good.
Like, Geomancy plus DD is just going to be insane.
I agree. But I'm not sure... I am...
What happens after they deal with the Xerneas?
Yeah, exactly. And like, you know, you just have two partners that can threaten both Indeedee and Xerneas together. Like, something I played a lot in 2018 was just Groudon Venusaur. Like, sure, I will Precipice Blades to hit both of you, and I'll click Sludge Bomb or Sleep Powder or whatever to either deal with your partner or put the Xerneas to sleep or KO it.
Yeah, one or two. Something will happen. Trying to think of other ones. Yveltal feels like a winner in my book now. No Dynamax against it is better because it was an okay Dynamax because it had max air. This thing's still better without Dynamax. It's still something you don't want to max. Sucker Punch, Snarl, still really powerful things. Oblivion Wing. Your flying type moves that most people are going to use are like, it's going to be Air Slash now because Hurricane can miss. Flies 2 turns.
You say that. I ran into Rain earlier. It was Torn Ogre, and I led like Venusaur plus something. Switched in my Groudon, and they hit the Hurricane in Sun to Oko my Venusaur. I'm just like, you won this game on a 50% accurate move.
It happens.
I am so mad. Like, I played this game optimally, and you won because you hit it.
But like Yveltal, like if Urshifu is good, Yveltal's probably like right behind it. Is like a very powerful dark type because I expect Calyrex Shadow to be popular. Yveltal technically deals with Urshifu fairly well. It's like, what's Urshifu going to do to you? Like, it's going to hit you with a dark type attack, or you resist it because it's
Or you have Water Fu, and it's like, okay, Oblivion Wing you.
Like,
Look at that, I'm suddenly back to full HP.
You surging strikes me. Okay, I'm Oblivion Wing you and put you to your sash. I'm gonna just eat all your HP.
Nah,
now.
the real play is play Rocky Helmet Yveltal.
Ah,
so then you break the sash.
Rocky Helmet's an item that gets better, I feel like.
Rocky Helmet gets way better. The choice items get immensely better. The number of choice Scarf Landresses I've ran into today, immense.
You want to be choice Scarf Landers now over the Assault Vest because you're not Dynamaxing. You need the speed.
The number of games that has come down to, well, I really hope Landers isn't choice Scarf. Boop. Darn it, they are.
Get you. I'm just trying to think of other restricteds that are better.
Alright, if you want to scroll up for me, since, we have this list here. Mewtwo's still pretty bad. Lugia's whatever. I feel
like Lugia really liked weakness policy and it really liked being able to Dynamax, but it's just like...
I know Aaron is kind of excited to play Lugia. Like, he was working on it a little bit this morning. I'm just like...
Curb your enthusiasm.
I am excited for you to be excited.
Yeah, I'm happy that you're enjoying it. That's the idea.
Ran into Ho-Oh a couple different times. I'm pretty sure it's the same player I played like 4 times today. Because like at first it was like these 4 bonds, and then the next time I ran into them, they added a 5th. And then the next time they added a 6th, and that 6th slot rotated like on and off the next couple times I played them. And Ho-Oh is really weird.
Yeah, that was kind of the thing I got from like playing with Ho-Oh in Series 8. It was just like Ho-Oh didn't appreciate it being like Dynamaxed against, but really like just like wanted to Dynamax a lot, but couldn't ever safely Dynamax because intimidating.
And like the other thing is like the Ho-Oh sets I've played against, specifically this one person, have been like support Ho-Oh, and it's like surprisingly weird, but it worked. Like they helping handed, they're like Ho-Oh helping handed. I'm like,
okay,
what? Okay. That's not something that happens. And then I died.
Kyogre Groudon are obviously going to be very powerful still.
I actually think that a lot of people are going to underestimate how important weather is in this format. Just because you can't change weather on a limb.
Yeah, you can't change it on a dime like you were before. Like, if you just happen to carry a water move, you can change it to rain whatever you want. If you just Dynamax that Pokemon, or fire move for sun, or rock move for sand, and so on and so forth.
So I think these weather-based teams actually get a big boost, and legitimately, you could actually see Alola Ninetales be played in this format.
Yeah, you could.
And it actually be okay.
Like,
why take 2 turns to set up your screens when you can take up 1?
Choice Scarf, Alola Ninetales, go.
Pray for no fake out. You probably still want to be Sash.
Yeah, like pray for no fake out. Rayquaza. It's like, yes, you get to turn off weather, but like the weather has to be really good.
And I don't think Rayquaza is the best one to shut off weather.
Play Drampa.
I mean, that is an option, yes.
Trying to think of play Golduck.
I've done it.
Licky Licky and Lickitung.
Those I have not done, but yeah.
Moving on.
Dialga, Palkia, Giratina. Dialga's actually really good. Dialga is one that benefited from Dynamax, but
Dialga really likes Dynamax.
And the big problem that Dialga has now, I think, is like obviously its damage output is much worse. The fact that you're not hitting, base 130, base 150 attacks every turn. But honestly, it's still fine.
It still has the problem of what happened with Dynamax. It's super susceptible to Snarl.
Yep.
Like, you just get one Snarl, Dialga was just like,
okay.
I guess I'm not doing anything in this game anymore. And now you can't, like, Dynamax to actually do anything about it.
Yep.
Like, you can't Dynamax to make yourself bulky to where you can just, where you don't mind being dropped like that. Things like that.
I did run into a super sweet Dialga team earlier.
Yeah.
That was playing, like, Telepathy Dialga next to Scarf Lando. They had Thunderous Therian as well. So there's just like they had Disquake, but they also had Telepathy. I'm just like, oh, this is cool.
Yeah,
this is really cool. You can't beat Calyrex, but this is really cool.
You can't beat this Pokemon, but that's really cool. Palkia.
Palkia was one that I know Evan played quite a bit in GS Cup when like that was the format of choice for 2 weeks or whatever it was. And like from my experience, from my understanding of the experience of that format, it was good in there.
Like it was good because you had Zacian alongside the back.
Yeah.
Like you had a secret sword doggo in your back pocket.
Whereas now, I played against my fair share of Palkia today. It's like, alright, you click Spatial Rend, I'm gonna correctly switch into my fairy.
Oh look.
You didn't do anything.
I correctly called this play. It's like pivoting is important now.
You didn't do anything this turn, and instead I got to attack you twice. Or, once. It's like...
yeah, it's just... I don't think it's going to do enough.
Giratina, it wasn't really good in a Dynamax format,
Urshifu's even better now, so you're just going to die. Just don't.
Yeah.
Reshiram, Zekrom. Zekrom still hates its
Zekrom's
life.
still really bad. Reshiram, it could probably actually work out.
It could probably tango for a little bit.
I'm not sure exactly how good it's going to be, but I'm sure someone will build it and I'll play it.
Yep.
I'm actually really excited to see what like the Reshiram teams end up looking like, because like the big problem with both of them is you're really weak to Landorus, but for two very different reasons.
Yeah.
The fact that Scarf Lando is absurdly fast and can hit you super effectively is not great for Reshiram, but you can abuse that. Weakness Policy is still an item, and a lot of people are going to forget about it, I feel like.
Yeah, that's like one of the hidden things. Like, Weakness Policy can still be good. Don't give up on it just yet.
The Groudon team I was playing had Weakness Policy Groudon, and I sent it to Poppy. He's like, so how are you triggering this? I'm like,
Aqua Jet.
I'm like, yeah, I have Aqua Jet. He's like, okay, so what happens if that doesn't happen? I'm like, they're still going to want to attack my Groudon.
Yeah.
So I sent him a replay where I got, like, scalded from a Feeny or something. He's like, oh yeah, that's still good, isn't it?
The bulkier restricteds get to abuse Weakness Policy still. Kyurem forms. Yeah, I figured. We talked about Xerneas and Yveltal already. Zygarde.
That's your bread and butter.
So Zygarde still, like, it wasn't the Dynamax target to begin with in these teams it was played on, so...
But, like, when it did, you had to really respect it.
Yeah, it is. It's still fine. It's just like, it's actually better because there's no 130 max ice move coming at your face from a Ice Horse. Or Metagross. Or whatever Pokemon just happen to carry ice coverage. Ice coverage is gonna go down unless you're playing specifically an ice type. Which,
like, the two ice types that are really, like, still playable are Glastrier and Cali Ice, which
we talked about. Probably aren't going to see much play. Solgaleo, Lunala, Necrozma,
Carl, you skipped a couple there.
Cosmog and Cosmoem.
Yeah, they're still really bad. Okay, next.
Solgaleo, I feel like, is still going to be fine. I really like Dynamax, but still is immune to Intimidate, so it's still fine.
Yeah, Solgaleo's okay.
Lunala might be fine. Shadow Shield means you don't get completely blown out by Urshifu in turn. But,
sure. You say that, and yet I still punched it and did a lot.
Yeah, you just don't die. You don't just straight up die, but you take a lot of damage. The Necrozma forms, Dawnwing's still bad.
Yeah, Dawnwings is still Dawnwings.
Lunala 2.0 is still bad. Who knew?
Lunala that gets literally nothing good for it is still not very good.
Who knew?
Solgaleo,
the Duskmane.
Duskmane is probably still really threatening. It's probably, like, of the restricteds, it's probably my pick for best Trick Room Sweeper. And dude, it's really hard to pick that because, like, it's either it or Cali Ice, and I just think Necrozma has better tools.
The thing about Duskmane Necrozma was, the Dynamax helped a ton.
It really did. But
It
now
really
you actually
wanted
get to
those
use...
defense
You actually get to use Photon Geyser.
Yeah.
Is that the attack?
Yeah, that's the move.
Yep. So, like, that's an actual thing you get to do now, as opposed to running Psychic Fangs, which, honestly, Psychic Fangs is still really good. There's going to be a lot of screens in this format, I feel like.
Yeah. We talked about Zacian, Zamazenta. Eternatus is...
It's... it gets Cosmic Power and Recover.
God, that shiny's ugly.
I actually like the shiny.
I hate the shiny.
You can be wrong, that's fine. This is the Ultra Mega form. Base 130 speed's really respectable.
So that's on the same par as Spectrier, Jolteon, Crobat, all them.
Which, unfortunately, it's Spectrier and not Cali Shadow. But
yeah, that's the thing, is like the whole speed tiers get jumbled up in a restricted format because Cali Shadow and whatever exist.
But like at the same time, like if you just like follow me Cosmic Power and then click Cosmic Power again the next turn, like now you're +2 in both your defenses. Do you get stored power? Is that a thing we can do with I don't have my phone. Carl, why didn't you close it? I wasn't done looking.
I was. I gotta move the show along, otherwise we'll be here for another 3 hours.
And? I don't see the problem with that.
You guys for stored power?
Yes.
It is not a thing.
That's really sad. I'm disappointed. I wanted stored power Eternatus.
Yeah, I know, not happening.
Alright, fine.
And I think that was all the restricteds?
That is technically all the restricteds, yes.
One other Pokemon I want to talk about. Well, it's a set of Pokemon. It's the Dracozolt and Dracovish. Just Sandrush plus Fisher's Friend, Sandpush plus Bolt Beak. Those still are probably very, very powerful, especially since I know for a fact you can get Dracovish to outspeed max speed Alecki Sandrush. And you ain't gonna worry about people just taking away your weather constantly.
That's the big thing. That was one of the big problems with the Sandrush is like, well, you just geysered into my Tyranitar, and now not only is my Tyranitar dead, but my weather's also gone.
I ain't got weather anymore, but now it's just like, okay, I can spec T-Tar to be slower than Kyogre, and it's like Dracozolt outspeeds Kyogre and blows
Bang!
you up. I ain't gotta worry about it anymore.
Which I think... I want them to be good.
I think Dracozolt, Sandrush, Dracozolt actually becomes good.
Yeah.
Like, Hustle was why you wanted to play it in Dynamax format, but now you just play Sandrush with Pipe Form and just blow people up with them. Because there's no Dynamax target to worry about.
I need you to make this team for me.
We can do it.
No, not we. You're going to work on this.
Okay.
Alright, cool.
I already got, like, Zamazenta, Tyranitar, and Dracozolt put together. It's literally the Sand team from Series 8. I'm just swapping some parts around.
Whatever, man. Good enough for me.
We get coaching Tyranitar. Coaching Dracozolt.
Oh, I thought you were saying Tyranitar gets
No.
coaching.
No. We're coaching.
But you're slow. Why would you want to do that?
Zamazenta gets to coach. We get to coach T-Tar. We get to coach Dracozolt. We can slap on a Feeny so we don't get burnt. And it also gives us water coverage.
Yep.
This seems like a great team so far. I'm not seeing a downside yet.
I know. I got a couple other things, but I'm going to save them.
Okay.
I'm going to save them because, like I said, I'm going to try to write this week and see what I can come up with. And I have a couple ideas bouncing around that I want to keep for that.
Explore and whatnot.
Yeah,
okay.
I want to play some more games and actually test some stuff and see if I'm somewhat accurate or if I'm just completely off the wall.
You're just off your rocker and, yeah. So, that was Series 10 rant. We ran for that about an hour almost.
Yeah, sure, whatever.
Unfortunately, like we said, it's just like, we're not going to completely switch over to Series 10. So we do have to talk about Series 9 stuff because we do have LRQs coming up. The data points for that still matter. We ended up getting all of the data from all of the teams. There were 36 total teams, if I remember correctly.
Yep. That's what you said, at least.
So, data from LRL events from the past week. 15 Rillaboom, 15 Regieleki. Remember how I said Rillaboom and Regieleki were really good for Series 10? It's because they're really good in Series 9. Dragapult at 12, Togekiss at 10. That's kind of surprising. It's kind of like the format has kind of evolved, like Dragapult and Togekiss have started to come back again.
This next one I'm kind of shocked by, but it also kind of makes sense. 8 Rapid Strike Urshifu. Granted, we have 6 Colossal teams.
So that makes sense. And then...
So that's 6 of them.
I know Gil is a fan of Rapid Strike Urshifu a lot.
He likes slapping his wet noodles, yes.
So that's probably one of them too. I'm not sure.
Did Gil play both?
No,
multiple events, or did he?
Okay. So that means there's probably 6 Colossal and 6 of these Rapid Strike Urshifu, and then
which probably also makes up 6 Rillaboom and probably 4 to 6 Dragapults.
Yeah.
If I was a betting man, that's and probably a non-zero amount of those Togekiss too.
Probably.
It's almost like this team was played a lot, and over. I mean, that averages out to be 2 players per event.
Yeah.
That's not unrealistic for like colossal numbers.
8 Grimmsnarl, 8 Glastrier, which kind of makes sense. Series 9 Glastrier is really, really popular still. Trick Room's kind of gone to the wayside though. I'm seeing less and less of it as it goes on, or if I do see it, it's like Stack Attacka. See, the big thing, and I specifically playing with like Stack Attacka, I would, have Amoonguss plus Stack Attacka as like my Trick Room lead. If they led like Rillaboom or Ensign or like something that actually threatened me so where I can't reliably get up Trick Room, I just Dynamax Stack Attack and punch him. Yeah.
Like, alright, cool.
Just
well,
punch it.
You expected the Trick Room. Thanks for the taunt. Smack you.
Clap him. Speaking of Stack Attack, it's the next one on the list at 6, alongside 6 Colossal. And then we got some 5s here. It looks like 5 Urshifu, Spectrier, Porygon 2, Incineroar. That seems really low.
That's absurdly low.
For, like, looking at, like, 36 teams, only 5 people brought Incineroar?
That is absurd.
Wow. 5 Heatran, 5 Celesteela. Interesting. Let's just sort of this Incineroar thing for a minute. Why? Why could this possibly be? Is it just like...
people are tired of seeing it and don't want to play with it? That's literally... I mean, if you look at it, there's also 4 Landers Therian. It's like, either people are just tired of playing against it, or our events have become so self-aware of each other that they know they're going to run into it and therefore beat it.
I guess, maybe. That
so,
could be. We cover all the data for every event, so that might be a trend that's happening. Is just like people actually are like, oh, Incineroar was number blah 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 in this event.
So as a result, what happens is like we're presenting level 1, so people don't want to go to level 0, which is re-representing that data. They want to go to level 2, which is okay. Let's beat the data that's being represented. So then you get the people who want to go above that of. Okay, let's beat the people who want to beat the people representing the data.
Yeah.
So it's just like, well, they're going to try to beat Ensign, so instead let's just cut the Ensigns and the Landos and play threats that beat whatever threatens these.
Exactly. and that's the game we're playing. So...
I have literally no idea that's anyone accurate when it comes to this, but that's what I want to believe, and so therefore that's what happened.
I'm interested if any of these Incineroar or Landorus's were ever paired together on teams.
Yes, 4 of them, I'm sure.
You really think so?
No, I have no idea.
Because that means there's only like 9, at most, there's 9 Intimidate.
9 Intimidate Mons spread across 36 teams.
That's 1/4. That is abysmally small for Intimidate.
For an ability that, we had a whole like 5-minute rant on earlier.
Exactly. Looking at some 4s here, there's the Sun Duo of Torkoal and Venusaur. There's 4 Tornadus in here to do whatever it does.
It clicks Taunt and Tailwind and occasionally hits you with a Hurricane because it's holding a Life Orb.
Blastoise is as good as Venusaur confirmed. There are 4 Blastoise and 4 Venusaur.
Obviously.
4 Amoonguss, 4 Lana like we mentioned, 4 Metagross, and 4 Tapu Fini. Interesting.
Yeah, nothing overly interesting there.
Like, Blastoise is like the one weird metric, but I feel like the Blastoise stuff came in the latter half of this week.
It's because Landorus and Ensign are really good, and so therefore you have the people who
It's the level 3. I get it. It's level 3. It actually makes sense.
Like, it actually does make sense. I know Swede played a super sweet Adrenaline or Blastoise team.
So what you're playing for laddering this week.
Yep, it is. Adrenaline Orb is one of those items that is so underutilized, and I get it. It requires a very specific thing to actually happen, but when it does, it just
mind blown. It's just so good.
I really like the fact that Airstream is going to be really weak. I want to do Adrenaline Orb Gyapdos.
That actually probably be really cool.
It sounds super cool. No idea if it's good, but I'm gonna work on it.
I feel like it's gonna get worse because fairy types are probably gonna get popular again because Urshifu's popular. I feel like that's.
But it's okay because you threaten the Urshifus, so therefore you're just as good as the fairies, Carl.
But the fairies are better than you.
You're pushing a story that I don't like to hear.
Of course. Looking at some threes here, we have 3 Charizard, 3 Clefairy, 3 Primarina, 3 Registeel, and 3 Thundurus.
I was really confused. I was reading down the list. I'm like, what are you doing?
I wanted to make sure I got all the 3s because it's a bunch of white text on the black background.
Very true.
Blastoise better than Charizard confirmed? Because there's more Blastoise than Charizard?
Oh, see, Blastoise checks Charizard and checks Incin and Lando, so...
And technically checks Venusaur.
Just saying, Blastoise is clearly the best starter.
If you hadn't yet, go check out the deep dive on Blastoise last week.
I actually haven't watched that yet.
That one was it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that one.
I know you have Chansey Shuckle going up Friday.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about that one. Let's see here. 2s. There's so many.
There's
2s.
a bunch of 2s here.
Oh, there's not that many 2s.
Actually, yeah, not nearly as many as I thought.
Whimsicott, Umbreon, Rotom Wash and Rotom Heat, Raichu, Politoed, Galarian Moltres. Only 2. That seems really low too.
That's not the one that I'm concerned by here.
Oh yeah, you see the Jellicent, Gothitelle, Dusclops, Clefable, Bronzong.
So there's a lot to digest there.
Indeedee, Mamoswine. That's all.
So 2 Bronzong.
So I can explain the Bronzong.
Okay.
Bronzong is the check the Metagross.
Uh-huh.
And you get to do your Trick Room thing, and you do not care what that Metagross does to you because you're Levitate.
You're you're Levitate, so you can't be hit by Quake, and Metagross does not get Fire Punch. So you're like,
you literally resist everything Metagross can do to you.
Yeah, you resist Rock Slide. Does it get Shadow Claw in this game still? I know it did back in Gen 4.
If it does, no one's using it.
Alright, cool. So, that's literally the one I can possibly think of that might do it.
Yeah.
But even still, you're probably going to be able to take a Phantasm.
So you get to do your Trick Room thing, and you just let Metagross punch you
for
hours on it.
Cool, you wasted your Dynamax. Now it's my turn.
That's exactly what it is. The Jellicent here is kind of interesting. Who's playing Jellicent?
That's not the one I was concerned about still, Carl.
I'm still concerned about the Jellicent.
Jellicent's really cool.
I respect it. What teams are playing it?
As long as they're playing the male version. Male version is strictly better than the female because it has a mustache. And the mustache is cute. It just looks better than the little lips. Just, thematically speaking, a mustache looks good on a jellyfish.
So which one's bothering you here?
It's the Clefable!
Nah.
Why?
Just follow me.
I mean, yes, but why?
Because they can.
But why Clefable?
Because they didn't want to play anything else.
Yeah, but why Clefable?
Well...
Not Clefairy, Clefable.
Let's see what we can find out here, shall we?
There's got to be a very specific reason, right?
Probably. I'd wanted to pull up the winners of all the events anyway from the past week, so this is gonna 2 birds, 1 stone situation. Let's see here. Can I find... I would have to guess that it was the same person.
That would make sense. They're playing the same team.
I found it.
It's really convenient.
If this is the same...
Actually, hold on. Go back to that. You notice a problem here.
Yeah.
So, this is Padaleck, is that right?
No, this is Zardychar's.
Oh, okay. Zardychar playing Colossal, but there's no Urshifu.
We have Aquajet.
I mean, it makes sense.
I
we
guess.
have Primarina to do it instead. And we still have Dragapult, and we still have Rillaboom.
Mm-hmm.
But that means there's more water Urshifus running around.
Yeah.
That's the one that caught me. Not the fact that it wasn't Urshifu, but the fact that that means it's somewhere else.
I want to confirm that they played
The same team twice? They did.
They did. Okay, cool.
So we found the two Clefable.
Cool. We found them.
But why Clefable?
This is what they wanted to play. Let them play what they want to play.
No, I'm not discrediting that. I'm just what is specifically Clefable doing that Clefairy isn't?
Maybe unaware, because it was the unaware ability.
And I guess like you also aren't required to hold Eviolite because like
you get
saw
to hold safety goggles, so you can play around the whole sleep thing.
Which again makes some sense. I will agree with that. The fact that you gain an item but like the big thing that makes Clefairy good
is Friend Guard plus it's just bulk.
Yeah. Which you're less bulky than Clefairy holding Eviolite, but you actually get an item. And I mean,
I don't know.
I could take it or leave it. It's just definitely caught me off guard that is something that existed.
Gonna go through some ones here really quickly. There was one Zoroark, Tyranitar, Serena, Terrakion, Spheal, Shedinja, Regidrago, Pheromosa, Obstagoon, Alola Ninetales, Nihilego, Alola Marowak, Lapras, Lucario, Latias, Kingdra, Kartana, Gastrodon, Garchomp, Entei, Dugtrio, Cobalion, Arcanine.
So I know the Dugtrio Cobalion are paired together.
Yep.
Because that was Captain's team, and I almost played it for Showdown this week. But I thought for a second that's what you were playing. Because just I don't know, the way we had talked about it, that's the idea I got. It's like, interesting.
Yeah.
Which I'm actually like. That team looks super cool. It's very similar to the Dugtrio Tentacruel team
that we played way back when.
Like Series 5, I think.
It was 5 or 6. And
it was super cool. And they were just like, this thing just gets way better because now you get Metagross.
Yeah, it's like now you get an actual Pokemon in this slot.
Which, Tentacruel was cool. It was definitely very unique for what we were using it for.
Yeah, but now you just get to do Metagross things.
I'm assuming this Latias is probably, if I had to bet, probably paired with the Heatran team.
So the Heatran team came way back from before any of these. Because that Heatran team was back in, like, May.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah, like, when we said I went digging for it, we both went digging for teams that way.
That's very true. I just happened to find a bug, and you found, oh, that was a Clefairy. I'm like, wait, that's another Clefable. I got concerned.
Somewhere in here, I know there is a Latias. I don't think I'm going to be able to find it, though.
And it's like the one downside to doing it this way is we have to open every...
I know where this feels at.
Is it who I think it is?
Oh, no, it's not this one.
So it's not Penguin, so that probably means... probably was Jiggly. Can you confirm that it was Jiggly for me?
I sure can.
I want to tell...
Yep. Oh, there's our one. Oh, wait. Ninetales.
So, Kariba wasn't playing Ninetales?
No.
But that's like Karibo's thing.
It's like his thing, yeah.
That's literally his thing.
Okay, I'm gonna look for our winners here. Vern won the Rumble 6.
Swede lost in finals again, right?
Yes.
Alright, I just wanted to confirm.
No
particular reason I bring that up.
Alex won the LRQ.
Yep.
And then this Rumble was...
I actually don't know on this one. This was a week ago at this point.
That's such a long time ago. I'm gonna check Battlefy.
Please, because I'm actually curious.
I actually don't
really
remember now.
know. Up, boot, do, 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 do.
Phenomena.
Do, 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 do.
Pengu. Irish Pengu.
Ah! Okay. Okay.
So it was this one.
What do we got?
Okay, so it was the team I had pulled up earlier.
Sweet.
That I was looking
Okay.
for Latias with.
Sweet.
I'm going to close that. I'm going to close this. We don't need this anymore, do we? Is there anything else you want to talk about data?
We had a bunch of ones, which, I mean, we kind of talked about.
There's a Serena in here, which
I
is
really
kinda
like
cool.
Serena, man.
There's a Lucario. That's a Karibo. That's a Karibo special right there.
Karibo Ninetales is like his thing. Or, I mean, Lucario, sorry. Lucario Ninetales is like his thing. What are we looking at?
There's 2 Politoed and 1 Kingdra. I know which one's the Politoed Kingdra team. Who played Politoed without the...
See, that's really simple. They needed to be able to beat all of the Tyrannotars running around. Actually, I really like Politoed. Just like, you don't need a Rain Abuser to make Politoed good.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, unlike Torkoal, which I think you definitely want to be able to abuse it in some way, the fact that you can just turn off other people's weather is just good enough, in my opinion, for Politoed. Plus, you have Perish Songs. Like, that's a good utility. You get Yawn? No, I know you get Hypnosis.
You get Hypnosis.
You don't get Yawn,
I don't
right?
think you get Yawn. You might get Yawn.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. And, I mean, I very well could be. I'm not saying I'm correct here.
No.
No Yawn,
No
but we
Yawn.
do get Hypnosis still.
But we do get Hypnosis still.
Okay. I thought there was some other, like, reason to use Politoed. Obviously, you get, like, Helping Hand. You get Rain Boosted Scalds, which is good. You get Ice Beam, which can really actually apply decent pressure against, like, Landorus and Garchomp and all these mons that are 4 times weak to Ice. And just having that incidental Ice coverage just means you get to do a lot.
Pick them up, yep. Speaking of Garchomp, the mighty have fallen. Garchomp,
Wasn't this like the most played Mon a couple weeks back?
It was one of the top Mons, and now it's just a 1.
Out of
Which
3
shows me that
events,
the format is just like evolving very quickly, because this thing was super popular in the last week, and I was expecting to see more of it this week, and just the 1.
Shoutouts to NG for having Obstagoon featured on 2 other channels now. Too.
Oh yeah, like we got to play it the week it like was put on the website for VR, and I'm just like, we're ahead of the curve. This feels nice.
Yep.
And then Osiris Studios picked it up and played it on Monday, I think, and then
Cybertron is playing it as we're recording this. He's playing it.
Played it
Wednesday night, late Wednesday, because he waited for the ladder to reset.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas I said, screw it, I'm going to bed.
But yeah, it's just like he's gotten his team featured twice now. The Obstagoon team was a blast.
Oh, it was very cool, especially once he actually got like the correct rental up, which I need to see. I haven't watched Aaron play it yet, so I need to see if he's playing the...
He's playing the Icy.
Interesting.
So was Osiris.
Yeah. I assume so, because that's probably the...
Meaning I played hard mode compared to everybody else.
Which actually is really interesting, because that either means NG still has it up, or they have it preserved and like have had it on their Switches for a while. Mm-hmm. Because he took that code down, to my knowledge, to put the other one up, like the day that we the day I recorded the first laddering with it.
Yeah. So let's go look at these teams in order here. So Irish Pengu won the Rumble on. It was last.
This is Rumble 5.
Yeah.
So this would have been last Wednesday.
Yeah, just over a week ago now.
Yep.
So we have a Regieleki, Clefairy, Rillaboom, Urshifu, Glastrier, Celesteela team. This feels just like very good, solid, here's my series dying team. It does a bunch of cool things. Nothing like, no gimmicks, no crazy shenanigans. I just have all these good mons and these all do powerful things. Kind of
I approve of the nicknames we have going on here.
I do too. I like this. So we've got Voltage the Regieleki, Miracle the Clefairy, Kong the Rillaboom, Mayhem the Urshifu, Sub-Zero the Glastrier, and Great Wall Celesteela.
Which, to be fair, AV Celesteela is quite the wall.
Is a very good wall. Yep. So yeah, this is kind of cool.
I approve.
I like this one. Next up, we have something very reminiscent of kind of like Nut almost, with like Thunderous Urshifu, but we don't have Nihilego. Instead, we have the Sea Train. So we're Hut instead of Nut. Like this is like where Nihilego would be.
Oh, for sure.
Like you don't want to play Heatran and Nihilego. This is where it's at. This is
you don't want 4 times weakness to ground.
Like this is your super mega special attack,
and
that's what Heatran does. It's just very good at doing a special attack thing. Alongside that, we have a Feeny and a Landorus and an Amoonguss, Urshifu, Thundurus, Defiant Thundurus specifically. So you have just offense, mostly offense, and then Amoonguss. Which this is playing Pollen Puff. That's not something you see much anymore. So it's kind of interesting.
I played it my fair share. Now you get Grassy Knot.
And this is the team that won. I believe Vern posted this on their Twitter.
I believe so, yeah, because we got tagged in it.
Okay, so I can talk about this a little bit more in depth, because this team is really, really sweet. So this is Goth Alecki things, but we're not doing Life Orb Alecki. We're a kind of bulky attacking Alecki instead of a Life Orb fast Alecki. So we get to do the Volt Switch, Thunderball, Electroweb thing. We have Hypnosis, Trick Room, Fake Out, Gothitelle, Focus Sash, Shadow Tag, just to kind of keep people locked in. So when you Dynamax, you can just take them out. Looking at some other offensive tools here, we have Dragapult here with Life Form, Phantom Force, Dragon Dart, Fly, Dragon Dance. I like that a lot, especially since we have Togekiss sitting here next to it with Follow Me. So we get to do that kind of Dragon Dance redirection kind of shenanigans that we saw so much of between Series 1 and 3. And then we have just like, here's Registeel, here's Glastrier.
Yep.
Which is kind of fun. Registeel does what it does best, Iron Defense, Protect, Amnesia, but I talked about Registeel. Go check out the deep dive. This is literally one of the sets I ripped off of Pikalytics. And then Assault Vest Glastrier, which is really, really cool. Heavy Slam helps you answer Chansey Shuckle a lot. Because Heavy Slam doesn't care about minutes.
Yep, it doubles the damage actually.
Yeah,
right.
Something like that. It does something with it does something with minimize.
I know it avoids the accuracy check, as does Sacred Sword. Because Sacred Sword doesn't care about their defense or evasion boosts. They just smack them. So Chansey Shuckle's officially dead because now Zacian's back. That's how this works, right?
Yeah, and plus Aegislash is
please let this be back.
Aegislash is decent. You can't slice or toss the Aegislash. The Aegislash can hit you every single time.
Yep.
There's your answer to just Chansey Shuckle. Just play Aegislash.
How could I be so blind?
I know, right? It solves the problem.
Whatever, man. Whatever.
Anything else?
Draft
League update. Sign-ups are still open. Going to the 25th of July. Draft is looking to be that first week after that.
Yeah, we'll start putting teams together probably midday the 25th. We'll probably cut it off that morning.
We'll get everybody grouped up.
And then get pairings made up, and then once in the groups, we'll start breaking down and setting up draft dates and everything else.
Yep, drafts will probably be 3 hours all at one go. We're not going to do slow snake draft. That was one of the things, feedback-wise, that I'd seen, was like, the slow snake draft kind of didn't feel great, because it's just like, there was a big time difference between certain teams, so it's like, they wouldn't draft again until 10 o'clock the next morning.
Which I know, like, Aaron and Angelo, theirs was like, they were one of the, like, first groups, so they didn't have, like, immediate back-to-back picks, but they were fairly close, and then they wouldn't draft for, like, 2 more days. Yeah. Because they were so one end or the other that it was, they had 2 rounds before they got to see anything.
So we'll definitely be doing all of our drafts all at once, just to ensure that everyone's on the same page all the time. Everyone knows what's going on, things like that. We will probably be in group chats for stuff like this. We'll probably make channels for that.
Yep, just like
Just
we
like
have
we
in the
have
past.
in the past. Yep.
You can be broken up into your individual groups, talk amongst yourselves.
Plan your
Of course,
matches.
all the mods have access to all of them, so we can come in and.
So behave yourselves.
Which the way it's worked previously is we've only had the need for 4 groups, but obviously we have a larger mod staff than 4 of us. So
people will be in and out as they go.
Yep.
There won't be any designated team leader, probably like there was for season 3.
Yeah, probably not.
As like there was like I had a group, you had a group, Evan had a group.
Evan and Swede were basically put together. Jiggly
was in charge.
Jiggly had a group.
Yeah.
I thought Jiggly was with someone. I could be wrong.
No,
because we hadn't picked up any of the other mods at that point.
Yeah.
Because Tim and Aaron hadn't come on until near the end, if I remember correctly.
Tier list should be going up. If it's not this week, sometime next week.
I feel good. I feel good about the tier list.
I've been looking over it and I like it a lot. It doesn't seem super duper powerful. I was worried about everyone just picking 2 S tiers all the time and just overloading the C pool and making it just garbage. But I feel like if you're all drafting 2 S tiers, you're going to be in trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you draft overall, it's like there's so much power sitting on the table
that you were just literally throwing away at that point.
Like, 1 S and then A's and B's and a couple C's feel like the most optimal line. You could just forgo all S's in general.
Let's stock up on like 3 A's. Just really.
A is a very stockable.
Agreed. S is good. A is slightly less good, but still really good.
Yeah. B's feels very, very powerful as just like a whole, which is good.
And then C is everything else.
Yeah, C tends to be just everything else. We try to leave some things in C.
Yeah, there's still some value.
You'll have to find them in. There's some diamonds in the rough in there. But yeah, I think that's it.
I think so.
Hopefully everyone liked our new mic setup.
Yo, for sure.
Yeah, we didn't even mention that I secretly upgraded everything.
Over the span of a weekish.
Yeah. Like, we went to 2 mics and we liked that. Well, my father-in-law found me an XLR setup for
basically nothing. Yeah.
I turned around and sold my Blue Yeti for the same price that I paid for the mix board and the mic and the arm and everything else.
So when you did that, I'm like, well, I guess I need to get me a mic. So.
And we found that one on sale at Amazon.
Yeah, literally everything that it came with. So
this is great. Hopefully people like this.
Hopefully it sounds good.
Yeah.
Definitely looking for feedback on audio and everything else this week. And obviously, we are going to have to be tweaking some things here and there just to make sure that everything is up to our level of satisfaction. But
yeah, it's going to be a work in progress because a lot of this is new. I haven't played with this board much. It seems to be an older board than what I'm used to, so it's going to take me a minute to figure out what all the knobs and whatnot do.
I'm not touching it.
Yeah, you're not allowed to. You don't touch anything.
All right. Well, first of all, that's rude.
No, I'm serious. Don't touch it.
I wasn't going to. I don't want to. I don't want to be responsible for when things go bad.
Like, then we have to buy a new one. These are not cheap. I got very lucky getting this.
Oh, for sure.
Very, very lucky. But yeah, can't think of anything else.
We feel professional.
I know, right? Isn't this nice?
we were joking about it earlier. It's like, all right, now the next setup is to get a second webcam and a second desk and then a recording studio and just
like we could actually get a studio set up, but for now this will be fine.
Yeah, for sure. There is nothing wrong with what we got going on.
Still a hobby at this point. If we start making money, we can probably start.
Oh yeah, that is so far down the path that I'm not concerned with it at this point.
Okay. Anything else?
I got nothing, man.
Okay, get us out of here.
Alright, so, as always, make sure you like, comment, subscribe on the YouTube channel if you're listening there. If you're not, go ahead and hop on over to our YouTube channel. We have all kinds of stuff going up there between the deep dives and laddering and showdowns. And, if you have a team that you want to see us play, make sure you come and join the Discord. You can always drop it down in there. Plus, our Discord's great. Our community is great, and that's one of the best ways to not only get a hold of us, but also interact with us on literally a daily basis.
Yep.
I am basically active on Discord from the time I first wake up to even when I sleep sometimes.
Yeah, you'll randomly see Carter wake up in the middle of the night.
Yeah, you'll see me message me at like 2 a.m. and they're like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I was thirsty.
I needed water."
Leave me alone. I can do what I want.
Yeah.
Follow us over on Twitter at LR Lessons, myself at Mr. Missouri25, and Carl is at Musical VGC. You can find Carl and myself on Twitch at Mr. Missouri25, and Carl is at Musical. I haven't streamed much this week. I've had a very hectic week related to work and everything else, especially with the holiday coming up and everything else. It has been insane.
Same.
And your schedule has been absurd for the last 6 months.
I've had to be there at 8 on Monday and Tuesday, and I have to be there at 8 again tomorrow. We've had people there that I don't know what's going on anymore, but they're scratching lottery tickets. I don't get it.
Yeah, that's what you're talking about. It's like spending literal thousands of dollars. I'm just like,
they buy them before they go into the machine. We scan them in. They buy them from our hands.
Yep.
And then they take them home, scratch them, and bring them back the next day.
When I worked at the gas station, I would have specifically two brothers who would come in. And they were both retired military. You know, their pension from the military they did not use to live off of because they were both also retired from other jobs, so they had an actual retirement fund too. So they were well off.
Yeah. So
they would literally take their military pension, come in at the beginning of the month and say, "All right, these are the tickets I want. You know, we're gonna spend $1,300 between the two of us," and then we wouldn't see them for another month, and then they come in and be like, "All right, here's all of our winners. Now we're also gonna add another $1,300 to this."
So they just roll it over.
It's like, okay, whatever you say.
Yep, sure, let them do it.
It is their money. Yep. I am not one to tell people how to spend their money.
Yep.
Where were we?
Twitch. Talked about Twitter. Talked about the Discord.
YouTube.
Talked about YouTube. I think that's everything.
I think so, man.
Check out the website, lrlessons.com.
It's great. I'm hopefully going to have something going up this week.
Hopefully there'll be an article there, hopefully soon.
If not, Carl will do something.
We'll make one happen.
Yeah, cool.
I don't know.
If you're interested in writing for us, please reach out. You can literally contact us anywhere.
Email litterattelessons@gmail.com.
Is that
Discord.
down in the show notes?
It is.
Okay. I know we used to, and I wasn't sure if you still did.
I still do, because I get emails every once in a while if people want to submit teams or things like that. I haven't had one in a while, but...
Yeah, it has been a hot minute. Here lately, it's just been, hey, do you want to be famous?
Yeah,
No, I don't want
to... do these cheap ads for us. It's like, no.
I don't want to buy Twitch bots to sub to me to fake my user...
To get to whatever status. No.
Yeah, I'm good.
We'll get famous on our own. It's fine. Appreciate the help. Appreciate the concern.
Thank you, but no thank you.
Yeah.
Please go elsewhere.
We're good.
I think that's it, man. I'm done rambling for a while. So that's gonna be it, everyone. Have a fantastic week, and we'll be back next week with some more Littleroot lessons. Have a good one. Peace.